Imagine you are sitting in a room surrounded by people talking, but no one is truly listening to each other. Everyone is just waiting for their turn to speak, to share their own opinions. And in the meantime, opportunities and valuable ideas slip by unnoticed. Do you recognize this? It is something most of us are guilty of in life. We talk more than we listen. You know, communication is not just about words. In fact, the way you listen is more important than what you say. I have said many times, the way you communicate is more important than what you say. And this is not just a nice quote. It is a principle of life. One of the most important principles leading to success in both life and career. Think about the times you truly listened to someone. You noticed things you had not seen before. You understood more deeply the needs, désir, and challenges the other person was experiencing. On the other hand, when you only talk without listening, you miss valuable opportunities and you build invisible walls between yourself and others. So, today I want you to join me in exploring a simple yet powerful secret, the art of listening. This art not only helps you build lasting relationships, but also transforms you into someone others trust, respect, and are willing to listen to in return. Throughout this video, we will explore why listening is important, how to listen effectively, and how to apply it today to make every conversation more meaningful and valuable. Prepare your mind and heart, because if you learn to listen the right way, you will realize that the world is full of opportunities you never saw before. Now, let us pause for a moment and reflect deeply. When we talk about communication, the first thing most people think about is, how can I speak better, more impressively, to get others to notice me? But be honest with yourself. Have you realized that success in communication lies not in what you say, but in how you listen? This is what most people overlook, and it is also why they miss opportunities, relationships, and sometimes even success in their careers. Imagine you are a farmer standing in a vast field. You sow seeds every day. If you only focus on the seeds, talking to them, hoping they will grow, without observing the soil, checking the moisture, or noticing the sunlight, the plants will never grow properly. But if you know how to observe, to listen to the signs from the soil, the weather, and the young plants, you will know when to water, when to fertilize, when to shade or protect from rain. Listening is the key to understanding what is truly happening and acting at the right time, in the right way, in daily life. Those who know how to listen are the ones who gather information others miss. They understand the true needs of colleagues, friends, or clients. They recognize opportunities others do not see. And you know what? These people are often the successful ones because they know how to turn information, understanding, and awareness into opportunities for action. Conversely, if you only talk without listening, you will miss valuable opportunities. You may say all the right words, use eloquent language, but if you do not listen to understand others, you cannot connect, build trust, or lead others to follow you. This is why so many young people, no matter how talented, still fail in relationships, careers, or business. They do not know how to listen. Let me tell you a story. I met a young entrepreneur full of passion and ambition. He spoke constantly, persuading nonstop, but the people around him would not cooperate. I asked, "Do you know why they do not listen to you?" He fell silent. I said, "Because you have not truly listened to them. You only talk without understanding their needs, désir, or challenges after he began to change, starting to truly listen, asking open-ended questions, paying attention to emotions and perspectives of his partners, everything changed. Collaborations began to succeed. Opportunities that were previously missed became major steps forward in his career. The story is not rare. It happens to most people who have not learned to listen. They judge others based on what they hear without taking the time to understand. Here is another analogy I want you to remember. Listening is like watering a garden. You may think watering once is enough, but in reality, if you do not observe it, do not listen to each plant, each sign, the garden will never thrive fully. Every person you meet, every conversation you engage in is like a small plant. If you know how to listen, you water it properly. Opportunities will blossom, relationships will grow, and success will come to you naturally. One important point to realize: listening is not just a skill, it is an attitude, a way of living. Those who know how to listen do not just understand others' words, they understand the meaning, emotions, and intentions behind those words. Those who listen well always create opportunities, earn respect, and build lasting relationships. So, the question for you now is, are you truly listening to others, or are you just waiting for your turn to speak? Take a few seconds to think about this, because the answer will determine how others perceive you, and more importantly, how opportunities appear in your life. In the next section, we will explore how to listen effectively, the skills and strategies to become an excellent listener, so that every conversation is not just words, but an opportunity to learn, understand, and create value. Because if you learn to listen the right way, you will realize that the world is full of opportunities you never saw before. We have recognized together that listening is not only important, but also the key to unlocking opportunities and building lasting relationships. But understanding its importance is not enough. We must learn to listen effectively. And that does not happen naturally. It is a skill, an art, and like any art, it requires daily practice. Active listening is the foundation of all successful communication. Many people think listening is simply opening your ears and waiting for your turn to speak. But active listening means focusing entirely on the speaker, eliminating all distractions, and not thinking about your response right away. Imagine you are in an important meeting. A colleague is presenting a complex issue. If you only listen superficially, you will miss critical details that could help you make the right decision or ensure the project succeeds. On the other hand, if you listen actively, you will identify the real issue, sense the goals and concerns of your colleague, and act accurately and effectively. Another example from personal life. When your partner shares a difficulty, if you only listen with your ears without paying attention, you will miss the chance to understand their true emotions, and the relationship will gradually grow distant. But when you listen actively, you catch the subtle details, you understand, and you build a stronger bond. Those who listen actively do not just gather information, they build trust, respect, and influence, things far more important than words or reputation. The second skill is asking open-ended questions. Many people make the mistake of asking questions that only get a yes or no answer. They think they are showing interest, but in reality, they are only checking or judging. Open-ended questions not only help you understand more deeply, but also create connection and respect, making others willing to share important things. For example, instead of asking, "Is the project done yet?" ask, "What challenges are you facing in this project?" And how can I support you? Open-ended questions are like a key unlocking information you would never know otherwise. They help you grasp true needs, uncover hidden opportunities, and build lasting collaboration. Those who listen well do not just stay silent, they respond positively to let others know they are truly listening. Positive feedback is not just words, but also body language, nodding, smiling, maintaining eye contact, restating the main point in your own words, or commenting gently to encourage the speaker to share more. For example, in a meeting, a colleague presents a new idea. If you just sit quietly and sigh, the message will be missed, and they may abandon the initiative. But if you nod, summarize the idea, and ask for more details, they will feel respected and encouraged, and the whole team will gain more value from the meeting. Positive feedback not only helps understand information, but also builds trust, the most valuable asset in any relationship. Another crucial skill is managing emotions while listening. In conversations, especially difficult ones, you may feel frustrated, defensive, or want to respond immediately. Those who listen well do not let emotions control them. They understand that reacting too quickly or judging hastily will cause them to miss opportunities to learn and connect. Imagine you are listening to a complaining client. If you get angry or argue back right away, you will lose the client. But if you listen calmly, understand, and respond appropriately, you not only keep the client, but also build trust and respect. Finally, those who listen well do not just hear words, they sense what is unspoken. Look at the eyes, tone, body language. Notice the pauses. Recognize hidden emotions and underlying information. For example, an employee may not say they are overwhelmed, but through tired eyes and slow work, you can notice and support them in time. Those who listen well understand the inner world of others, and this understanding creates opportunities for collaboration, value creation, and success. We have recognized the importance of listening. It determines the quality of communication, unlocks opportunities, and builds trust. Now, with these skills, active listening, asking open-ended questions, positive feedback, emotional control, and listening to the unspoken, you have the tools to turn listening into a true strength in life. Each skill not only helps you understand others, but also makes you someone others want to collaborate with, share with, and trust. The foundation for success in career, business, and life. We explored in the previous section that listening is not just a skill, but an art. And when you know how to listen, you gather information, build trust, and create value that mere words cannot achieve. But now, let us go deeper. Listening is not the same in every situation. Family, work, society, business, or even yourself. Each situation requires a subtle and effective approach. Let us start with family and friends. This is where many people think they understand others, but that is not always the case. In family, when a loved one shares a difficulty, an emotion, or an idea, we often tend to react too quickly, giving advice, judging, or even trying to solve the problem immediately. But remember, sometimes others just need to be heard. They want to feel understood, to know that you truly care. For example, your child says today was tough at school. If you respond with quick advice, you need to study harder, you need to focus more, your child will not feel heard. But if you listen actively, ask open-ended questions. How did you feel when that happened? What do you want to do next? and give positive feedback with eye contact, a smile, or a nod. You are building trust and connection. Helping your child open up and learn to handle emotions. When you listen in family, you not only understand others, but also help them grow, strengthen relationships, and learn patience, empathy, and understanding. Now, let us move to work and business, where listening becomes a strategic tool in meetings. When colleagues or clients present an issue, if you only focus on what you want to say, you will miss critical information. On the other hand, if you apply active listening skills, paying attention, asking open-ended questions, giving positive feedback, observing body language, you will grasp true needs, hidden concerns, and opportunities others miss. Imagine you are meeting a potential client. They say they are interested in your product. If you only talk about features, benefits, and price, you are missing the most important part: understanding their goals, needs, and real issues. But if you listen, ask, what challenges are you facing with your current product? What kind of solution do you want? And observe their eyes and gestures. You will notice what is unspoken but more important than words. This is how great leaders and successful entrepreneurs build trust and create real opportunities, not with empty words, but with the ability to listen subtly and strategically. Next is social interaction and broader relationships. Those who listen well are the ones others turn to for sharing ideas, experiences, even valuable secrets. In social relationships, listening makes you the center that others want to approach, opening doors that mere speaking or presentation skills cannot. You realize that those who listen well not only have high emotional intelligence, but also build wide networks. And these relationships create opportunities in life, not only others, but you must also listen to yourself. It is easy to get caught up in the hustle of life, forgetting to listen to your body, emotions, and needs. Listening to yourself helps you make the right decisions, control emotions, and maintain balance in life. For example, when you feel overwhelmed but keep working nonstop, if you do not listen to yourself, you will quickly burn out. But if you pay attention, notice signs of fatigue, you will know when to rest, when to focus, and maintain high performance. This is the art of listening to yourself, which helps you grow sustainably and work more effectively. Another important point is the connection between situations, listening in family, work, society, and to yourself is not separate. When you practice listening in one area, the skill automatically applies to others. Every conversation becomes an opportunity to learn, understand, and create value for yourself and others. You will realize that the world is full of opportunities you never saw before, all starting from listening sincerely and actively. The final reflection of this section is, listening is not just a skill, it is a way of life. It determines how others perceive you, how opportunities appear, and most importantly, how you become the best version of yourself. When you know how to listen, you do not just receive information, you gain trust, respect, opportunities, and life lessons that words alone cannot convey. In the next section, we will explore the secrets to becoming an outstanding listener, so that every story you hear is not just information, but value, opportunity, and real change for your life. We have gone through an important journey together, recognizing the importance of listening, learning how to listen effectively, and observing how to apply listening in real situations, from family, work, society, to yourself. But now, The real question is, how do you become an outstanding listener? Someone who turns every conversation into an opportunity to learn, understand, and create value? Let me share a truth. I always remind anyone who wants to succeed. Successful people are not those who speak the most, but those who listen the best. Outstanding listeners do not just receive information, they turn it into understanding, opportunities, and real strength. And the great thing is, you can learn this. You can practice it, and you can become an outstanding listener starting today. One conversation at a time. First, focus completely on the speaker. When you talk to someone, set aside all distractions. Put your phone down. Stop thinking about other things and look them in the eyes. When you do this, you not only receive accurate information, but also send a powerful message. I care about you. I am listening to you. Trust and respect begin the moment you show others they are fully heard. Imagine you are in a meeting with colleagues. A colleague presents an important idea for a project. If you only listen with your ears, but not your attention, you will miss critical details. Details that could determine the project's outcome or even your career advancement. But if you listen fully, noting every detail, asking questions to clarify, you will grasp information others miss. Outstanding listeners always know that opportunities lie in the details others overlook. Next, make listening an active action. Listening alone is not enough. You need to respond with body language, eye contact, and words. For example, when a colleague shares a complex issue, you can restate the main point in your own words. If I understand correctly, you are saying just one simple sentence, but it creates a deep connection, helps others feel understood, and reinforces the information in your mind. Positive feedback is a way to prove you are not just hearing, but understanding and valuing. Another secret is asking open-ended questions. Do not ask questions that only get a yes or no answer. Ask questions that make others think deeper, share more, and explore ideas or emotions they have not expressed. For example, instead of asking, "Is the project done yet?" ask, "What challenges are you facing in this project? What solution do you think is most feasible?" Open-ended questions not only help you understand others' needs and challenges deeply, but also create opportunities for them to discover solutions, building trust and connection. Another crucial skill many overlook is managing your emotions while listening. In many conversations, especially difficult or conflicting ones, you may feel frustrated, defensive, or want to respond immediately. Outstanding listeners stay calm, focus on understanding rather than reacting, knowing that letting emotions take over will cause them to miss valuable information and ruin relationship opportunities. Imagine listening to a complaining client. If you get angry or argue back right away, you lose the chance to learn and lose the client. But if you listen calmly, understand, and respond appropriately, you not only keep the client, but also build trust and create long-term collaboration opportunities. Not only words, listening also includes recognizing what is unspoken. Important information often lies in the eyes, tone, gesturas, or pauses. Outstanding listeners observe the undercurrents in communication, things others do not say but carry great weight. For example, an employee may not say they are overwhelmed, but tired eyes, a slow tone, or hand gestures can reveal it. When you notice these signals, you not only understand others, but also have the chance to help support and create real value. One thing I want to emphasize, outstanding listening is a way of life, not just a temporary skill. Great listeners make it a habit. They listen in every conversation, whether with colleagues, clients, friends, or family. They listen to themselves to make the right decisions and maintain balance in life. When you practice this, you become someone others want to share with, collaborate with, and turn to, opening opportunities you never imagined. Reflect on this. When you know how to listen, you not only understand others, but also yourself. You see opportunities where others do not. Build relationships where others fail to value, and create value where others have not explored. Outstanding listening is the path to success, not through words, but through understanding, respect, and the ability to create real value. And now, if you are ready, in the next section, we will combine all the lessons from the importance, skills, application in situations, and secrets to becoming an outstanding listener, so you can practice today one conversation at a time and start seeing clear changes in your life, career, and relationships. We have gone through a meaningful journey together, from recognizing the importance of listening to learning how to listen effectively, from applying it in family, work, society, to yourself, and finally exploring the secrets to becoming an outstanding listener. Now, you have all the tools needed to turn every conversation, every relationship, and even every opportunity in life into a valuable learning experience. Pause for a moment and reflect. Successful people are not those who speak the best, but those who listen. They listen to understand, not just to respond. They listen to learn, not just to argue. They listen to build bridges, not just to achieve personal goals. Those who listen well are never alone. They always have opportunities, relationships, and respect that others do not. Now, you may ask, Jim, how do I practice this today? Here is the answer. Start with small steps. In every conversation today, give your full attention to the other person. Put your phone down, look them in the eyes, and listen with your whole heart. Ask open-ended questions. Ask questions that make others share more. Discover solutions they had not thought of. Give positive feedback, a nod, a restatement of the main point, or a follow-up question. All create connection and trust. Control your emotions. When hearing something upsetting or disagreeable, do not react right away. Stay calm and focus on understanding before responding. Listen to what is unspoken. Observe the eyes, tone, gestures, and pauses. This is a treasure trove of valuable information you cannot ignore. Remember, listening is a way of life, not a temporary skill. When you practice, you become someone others want to collaborate with, share with, and trust. You will discover that the world is full of opportunities you never saw before. And now, I want you to ask yourself, have you truly listened to others today, or are you just waiting for your turn to speak? Have you listened to yourself? Are you missing opportunities just because you are not listening deeply enough? Start acting today. Just one conversation is enough to make a difference. Listen with your heart and mind, and you will see relationships become stronger. Opportunities appear more often. You understand others and yourself more. And most importantly, you begin to become the best version of yourself. As I once said, the way you communicate is more important than what you say. Communication is not just words, but the ability to listen, understand, and create value from every interaction. So tell yourself, today, I will listen better, even in the smallest conversations. I will put my heart and mind into it, and step by step, you will realize that the world around you changes when you know how to listen, and you change for the better too. Take action now. Start today. And let the power of outstanding listening guide you on the path to personal growth, building relationships, and achieving success in every area of life